is fighting to claim one of the 6 remaining World Cup spots that's still up for grabs. They made it to the UEFA World Cup qualifying by finishing second in Group I with 6 wins and 2 losses. Both of those losses coming to Norway. They're coming off the World Cup qualifying semifinal win against Northern Ireland last week, and now their final opponent is Bosnia and Herzegovina today. Moise Kean has been their top goal scorer throughout qualifying with 5 goals, and Gianluigi Donnarumma has been their man in goal. And he told Sky Sports Italia that he's feeling the pressure, saying, "We are human beings. There's no point saying we don't feel the tension. We all want to do well and go to the World Cup, but it's the right kind of tension." And over in Italy, in the newspapers, La Gazzetta dello Sport says, "Vale il mondo," it's worth the world. And Tutto Sport also has a headline ahead of this saying, "Una spinta fenomenale," a phenomenal boost. And you can see on there are a bunch of Italian athletes in other sports, such as F1's Kimi Antonelli, who did win the Grand Prix over the weekend. How nervous are you feeling today? You've got a big smile on your face, but are you faking it a little bit? Are you really nervous inside?
Honestly, I felt pretty good until I started hearing that music, and then that raised the tension a little bit. So thank you guys for that, and then reading the newspaper headlines. No, I mean, all jokes aside, it's surreal that we're in this situation, but I was probably more nervous in the first game because I think psychologically the fact that they could see that they won that game, it will give them a huge boost, this Italian national team that feels like they need to be coddled in a way. Before that, we had 3 games, 3 World Cup qualifying games, 2 against Sweden, 1 against North Macedonia, where we took 68 shots but scored 0 goals. So finally we saw the ball go into the back of the net, and that is made me a little bit more calm, just a little.
Marco, this is all about mental strength. This is all about being able to deal with pressure, not cracking up, not letting your country down. So do you think you'll be able to do your podcast?
No. I always say I am the worst version of myself when I'm playing football and when I'm watching the Italian national team. Those are, they're not good. I say things that I 100% regret right afterwards, but it shows you know, we grew up with Italy, and there's so much pride and passion and family that goes into this. You know, seeing even, you know, my mom and my nieces and my sisters all wearing the Italian jersey and wanting to celebrate here in 2026 in our backyard, it brings us a lot of pride. And I think I said the last time I was on Morning Footy, that older generation, they would go into tournaments saying, "Oh, we want to win the World Cup," and now we're in a situation where we're just begging to be there, begging to be part of the party, because some of the other newspaper headlines said, "Do it for a generation of Italian kids who have never experienced Italy at a World Cup." If you're 16 years old or younger, you don't know Italy at a World Cup. With Formula One, tennis, baseball, rugby, us doing well in every other sport, you could argue that this is the biggest game in the country's history to keep that flame alive in the sport.
Marco, I got a deal for you.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. I
will take any deal. Whatever deal you want, it's a yes.
Okay. You cannot have your mother's cooking until the next World Cup, but you qualify automatic, like you're into the World Cup now.
Or what's the alternative?
You know, if
we don't qualify?
No. You don't eat your mother's cooking, but you're guaranteed to win the match today.
No. I think we could do it. If you would told me, if you would have told, I can't. You never had my mom's cooking.
I have had your mom's cooking. I've had her sandwiches, her mortadella sandwiches.
Mm. Oh yes.
Marco, I haven't had your mom's cooking.
No, I think Nico, if you told me that we wouldn't go to the World Cup, then obviously I would take that deal. But I think the fact that we overcame that hurdle, the fact that this group, and there's so much to talk about with Gennaro Gattuso. I think there's a lot to be desired with him as a coach. He definitely was not my first choice, but at least he feels like he understands the moment. He said he's choosing the players that he's looking in the eyes, that give him the guarantees, that are not scared. And Jeff is 100% right. This is about mental strength to get to the match. It's not just about the quality on the field. That's what let us down in the past. And Gattuso also said, you'll never see him again. He's running away from Italy if we don't win this match. So there's a lot of pressure on him and the team as well. And I think they will deliver in the end.
Marco, very simple question. It's almost more philosophical. Who are Italy?
Oof. We're a nation that probably went away from its roots and didn't adapt to the times. I think there's an immense pride that we have 4 World Cups, but we also don't want to learn from anyone else where we could have had improvements, especially during this drought, we could say, with the lack of Italian talent. I think that we're very confused. And I think the scariest thing, Nico, is that let's say we don't qualify for the World Cup. This will be the 3rd one that we miss out on, and nothing has changed. We did not invest in our infrastructure. The wake-up call. This should have been a wake-up call. 2, 100%, a potential 3rd, and we'd be right where we started. So we didn't invest in our infrastructure. We don't have a clear identity. And then there's a conversation even when we go to the World Cup of what will we look at, but nobody is thinking about that right now. It's too big of a conversation. The only thought, no matter how we have to go through, whether it's ugly, beautiful, we just need to get there, and then hopefully we'll figure it out from there.
Marco, so much in these games, right? You talk about the mental hurdle and not giving opponents a reason to go and knock you out of the World Cup is not doing just that. After Italy's game, we all saw the reactions that they had, right? It goes to penalties. And players were over the moon, almost as if they already won this match, right? So what's your reaction? Well, they were celebrating they were like, oh my gosh.
They gave a little fist bump. They gave a little, like they weren't, it wasn't a carnival. They just went like that.
What's your reaction, Marco? Because, my rose-colored glasses saw it differently.
We're amazing at making ourselves look silly. And I think a lot of the conversation was people were mad at Rai for showing some of this footage. I think Edin Dzeko summed it up well. I think Nico is right to a point. I think it's a little bit exaggerated from everyone, a little blown out of proportion, but that's not a good look. And we don't need to give, to your point, extra motivation to a Bosnian team. And also, I mean, we couldn't figure out who's the better team for Italy play. Was it Wales or was it Bosnia? Me, Tony Miola, Grella, we're all texting in a group chat. Guys, who knows more about this team? It's not like France went out. I remember I celebrated when France went out of the 2021 Euro because I said, oh, maybe we could go on. That's a celebration. To go between Wales and Bosnia, I mean, I wish we would just focus on ourselves, but definitely in a broader context, Edin Dzeko said it himself. He said, I think this went a little bit too far. It wasn't a lack of respect. And he said, if we were on the flip side, we were definitely hoping to play Northern Ireland, so we would have celebrated in the same motion. But absolutely we'll give a little bit of an extra push to this Bosnian team if they needed it.
Quick one, Marco. All this talk of pressure, etc. Do you agree with what Jimmy Conrad said on this show yesterday? It actually suits Italy that this game is being played away from home.
I actually do. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I agree with Jimmy. And actually, Gennaro Gattuso himself, we played our last game in Bergamo in a smaller stadium, about 23,000 fans, instead of going to San Siro. And they asked Gattuso, because Gattuso chose, why didn't you go to San Siro? He goes, if we go to San Siro and the game is 0-0 at halftime, they're going to start booing us. The pressure is going to mount on this team, and this team is cracked under pressure. That is the storyline, is that this Italy team, more than quality, lacks character. So I think the fact that they're playing away, they might play a little bit more open. The game against Northern Ireland, the first half, they were terrified to make a mistake. How safe. Nobody was breaking the lines. Nobody wanted to make a mistake and allow Northern Ireland to go up 1-0. I think now the nerves will settle a little bit. The fact that we are playing away from home, going to be a fantastic atmosphere from the Bosnian perspective. Only 8,800 fans, but it's really close to the pitch. They make themselves feel heard. But I think it might be better for this Italian team to play against the grain, because the 3 games that we did lose in the World Cup qualifiers, actually 2 out of the 3 were at home, but the 2 losses did come away.
Are you still saying that despite the fact that the weather reports out there in Bosnia are saying that it's 0 Celsius, so 32 degrees Fahrenheit? We've been seeing videos of snow already on the ground, maybe even a snowstorm coming through. So you're still saying this, that you like them playing away in Bosnia?
Yeah, Italy actually delayed their travels to Bosnia because UEFA told them don't train on the pitch. There's not expected to still be snow. I think it melted from now, but it could be raining and it could be cold. And the one good thing about Gennaro Gattuso is he said no excuses. He goes, they're playing on the pitch, we're playing on the same pitch. We can't start looking at these as potential reasons for us to not go to a World Cup. At the end of the day, you have to, wherever you go, you have to be able to win your matches. So no, I'm not looking at that as any excuse. I'm more worried about the 11 players that are on the pitch that need to put in a better performance than the one we saw against Northern Ireland, because yes, we're happy that we won 2-0, but it was certainly not a good enough performance.
Marco, what's up with Spygate? You guys doing the big Bielsa with
Yeah. Is it Derby County?
who was it? Like, fill me in. What's going on?
Did I ever tell you guys about my my uncle Giovanni that lives in Bosnia? No, jokes aside, I read into it. I think the Bosnian press is. There's not a spy. Oh, what kind of spy is that? In shorts and camo.
He's
Guys, come on.
he's definitely a relative, Marco, because he has your dress sense.
Jeff, if it's coming from you, that's bad. But I think the Bosnian press is putting a little bit more pressure. They're running with the story that there really is no story. I read up on it. He's military that lives in Bosnia, close by. He stayed for the first 15 minutes of the open training session, and then he stayed later on. So there was really nothing there.
How do we not know that Bosnia didn't plant this story? You know, like, I'm a little bit of a cynic, but you know, like, why not create this story out of the blue? Like, hey, have this guy be super weird out behind the goal, and let's make up this story to kind of like just bring up the energy and the tension into this matchup.
Yeah, let's go with that. I agree, Nico.
I don't know what he does in the military, but he's definitely not undercover.
100%.
Hey, Marco, I have reports that your whereabouts were unaccounted for the last 24 hours. So I can't confirm or deny. Was that you under disguise?
You call me Mike LaHood. You got it.
Now, Marco, I'm the 11 players on the pitch. You know, so much is made about, you know, the strike partnership, right? Moise Kean being up top. But for you, in this match, who would you go to partner Moise Kean?
And now here's where I disagree a lot with Gattuso, and it's in his squad selection where kind of to the conversation of we never learn. The big conversation in Italy is we don't want to give the youth a chance, right? And he is going with full experience. I expect no changes to the starting 11. There was reports that Palestra could have played in the first game, and I said if you listen to what Gattuso talks about, it's all players who give him guarantees, players he's worked with. That's why he goes with Politano. And up top, there was a clear before and after when Francesco Pio Esposito came on in the game against Northern Ireland. And if we dive into the tactics, why that is, when Retegui and Kean were together, it was Kean who was checking in and Retegui running in behind. And Retegui had a poor match, along with a lot of other players. When Pio comes on, Pio is the one that drops in, and he allows space all around him. So then you see Tonali making the runs. Then you see Moise Kean, who's really good with space, run in behind. And the one fault of this Bosnian team is they're an experienced group. They love to cross a lot. They could hurt Italy in a lot of ways, but they do leave a space in behind. So I think Pio Esposito, despite just being 20 years old, despite not having the most experience for the Italian national team, I actually think tactically he could help this team a lot better against Bosnia than Retegui would. And I'm still a Retegui fan. It's not about that, but it's just when you match up against the opponent, I think that he fits much better. But I think Gattuso is making all these calculations. He's saying, oh, I want an option in off the bench. So that's the reason why I believe we won't see any changes to the 11.
Marco, I do have to say that in comparison to when we talked to you ahead of the semifinal, you actually seem a little bit more upbeat. Marco, thank you so much. Best of luck for you in Italy today.
Thank you, guys.
Good
Positive
luck, Marco.
thoughts, positive outcomes. Come on, Hannah. We're going to make it together. Let's go. Come on.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.